So what up, guys? I did a video tutorial back several months learning to skate from the beginning in your 40s, 50s, and 60s. And I've been asked a couple months back, even still, to do a part 2. How do I think you should learn to ride a bowl? What up, guys? I'm gonna sit back with you on this one. This is part 2. So if you haven't seen the first part, you really should look at that. It covers the basics. So let's watch this. Man, the new park, Taylor, it's popular, which is good. It's good both times, right? I don't get to skate it with my kids as much because I'm worried about my kids, and there's a lot of adults flying around there, and there's good skateboarders there, so I just want to keep my kids safe and not get them in the way of people that are out there shredding. So it's courtesy, but mostly it's being a thoughtful parent and trying to protect your kids and keep them safe. The good thing about that park being so popular and so busy is the other parks aren't. So you might not get to skate it as much, maybe the newness has to wear off, but there's nobody at your park. So it's good both ways. Anyhow, right here we have a bowl. We have a roll-in. I think that's the first thing. So in the last video, I was kind of teaching you to start in the bowl, pushing around, starting to get familiar with doing some little kick turns, leaning the board and being able to try to get into some carves. I think this step is really going to be about carving, and you got to do a roll-in and a drop-in. But I'm not going to do a video on that because that's pretty easy, and we have our own videos on learning to drop in. Rolling in is bend your knees, go around your park, find somewhere lower, and eventually at some point you're going to come to a situation where you just need to go for it. And when you carve, try to carve around a little bit higher and just get familiar going front side and back side that way. Pick some marks on the side of the bowl and set some goals for yourself, and you'll get it. Learn to get speed. Find out where you can get the pump. You can get the pump on those hips, and try to do it like that. So here we are, pumping. Often overlooked by beginners, but it is one of the most important foundational tricks you can have in skateboarding in a bowl. Speed saves your butt. A lot of times when you're carving, you're going up walls, you need to be going fast enough to keep yourself horizontal, head over the drain, and stay on the board so you don't slide out. To get back to our learning to skate at 40, 50, and 60, or 11. This is what you do. You go around and you look for little spots where it fills off. And what you got to do is when it fills off, like you're lifting up and it feels like it's awkward, that's because you need to pump in that spot. You want to keep your wheels down, you want to use it. If it's going down, you want to be pushing your legs down to get speed out of it. Let's see you do it, Taylor. Use all the pumps and try to get the most out of them. So pumping really has two purposes. Kind of like your shocks on your car. You want to keep your wheels down and you want to keep traction. That's important to stay flowing in the bowl. But the other purpose is basically so that you can use the transition to gain momentum, because you don't have an engine turning those wheels. So you have to really be thoughtful. Try to lift. You can see Killian here. He lifts up, so he bends down, he jumps up to get his height up on the wall so that he can then push his legs downward on the approach into the next wall. All of this adds to your speed. It's something that you're constantly going to think about when you're riding around the bowl. If something feels awkward, usually that's a sign you didn't do it perfect. And then you want to try to do it again. Figure it out. Maybe you're lifting up too soon. Maybe you're pushing down too soon. Sometimes a video of yourself to watch back, you think, I was pumping so hard today, and then you get back and you review the footage and you're like, where was the pump? That is like common, I think, with every person I've ever helped to learn. They always think they're over pumping, they look ridiculous, but they're not. They barely even look like they're pumping. Well, watch Phoenix here. My kids are really comfortable on a skateboard now, and they're really at the time where pumping is necessary and it's just the next step. So I'm really trying to spend some time with them, not to flail their arms around, because sometimes you do a lot of unnecessary movements that actually hinder your speed in the bowl, and we don't want that to happen. Good style, hon. Yes. See that, guys? She's experimenting with pumping her legs. You got to try it in order to know. So if it doesn't feel perfect, or it feels like you can get more juice, give it some more juice. Hit the like button, guys. Like button, guys.
Look out!
What was that?
You confused him by saying that right when he was going.
I don't think I scared him. He said it was the wrong stance. Run up there. I'll throw it up.
Stay back.
I want you to think about what you just did, though. You managed to run all the way down this thing without your board, and you were fine. And you didn't get hurt. So we don't need to be as scared as we think we need to be, right? So you just proved that you're able to run down that. But now you want to be thinking about what you're doing. All right. So I included that clip there because I really wanted you guys to see that sometimes our mind builds up an image of a real disaster happening if we try something new. And Killian right there, he got a little cocky. He didn't get his footing position just right. And as he's rolling in, he decides to bail off and run down the bowl, right? He probably thought he was dead. He got down there easy. So you know what? 99% of the time, we can handle whatever situation we're doing if we're going to fall. It's not going to be the end of the world. But it just goes to show you also, when you're learning, you definitely want to take extra precaution to be ready, get your foot placement right, and make sure you have a really controlled scenario when you're learning something new. So get out there and experiment with pumping. It's fun. Thank you, Jesus!